We will learn how to use point-slope form to write an equation of the line, how to write an equation of the line given 2 points on the line, how to write the equation of horizontal and vertical lines, how to use a point and a slope to graph a line, and how to write linear equation that models data.
Writing linear equation in 2 variables logical path. First question is slope. And for slope, usually you will see 3 options. The first option would be slope would be in the problem as a number. Second option, you will have 2 points in the problem and you have to use formula for the slope in order to find slope. And third option would be more complicated. It would be relations between parallel lines or relations between perpendicular lines. If lines are parallel, they have the same slope. If lines are perpendicular, then second slope would be negative reciprocal of the first one. And in order to see the slope of the first line, you need to place the equation of the line number 1 in the slope-intercept form. When you have slope, then you can substitute coordinates of the point and slope in point-slope form and simplify as much as you can. When you have the simplest point-slope form, you can solve this equation for y and you will have slope-intercept form. This is what you have to practice in order to write the point-slope form and slope-intercept form of the line.
This is summary how to write point-slope form and slope-intercept form. Point-slope form: y minus y first equals slope x times x minus x first. And m is slope and x first y first coordinates for any point from the graph. Slope-intercept form: y equals mx plus b. M is slope and b is y-intercept. I want you to look into point-slope form, and you will see that we have to have slope to write point-slope form, and slope-intercept form. The same request. In order to write slope-intercept form, we have to have slope. So first form or second form, if you have to use, you have to have slope. How can we get slope? Let's talk about several options. Option number 1. Slope can be known in your problem, like this problem number 1. Slope is 5. This is the first option, the easiest option. Second option, if you have problem like next problem, and you have 2 points with coordinates -5, -4, and -10, -3, then you have to calculate slope. You have to mark first point as a x first, y first, second point x second, y second, and you have to use formula in order to calculate slope. Y second is -3, y first is -4, x second is -10, x first is -5. You have to simplify. It's a good idea to use parentheses. And then we will have numerator -3 and +4, which is just 1. -10 and +5 would be just +1 over -5. And the result would be -1 over 5. So slope is -1 over 5. This is second possibility. If you have 2 points, you can always calculate slope. We talked about first 2 possibilities before, and now we are going to talk about third possibility. We have to have slope, and what we do know that if we have 2 lines and they are parallel, they have the same slope. So if one line has slope like negative 3 over 2, then second line would have the same slope, negative 3 over 2. So we can get slope from relations between two lines if we have them. And slope and perpendicular lines, we know that if we have two lines and they are perpendicular, then second slope is negative reciprocal of the first one. So if we have slope, for instance, negative 3 over 2, line with slope negative 3 over 2, then perpendicular line will have slope positive 2 over 3. So, for instance, if we have two lines and we know that one has a slope and second one would be perpendicular, we can calculate slope for the second line. This is what we are going to practice. We are going to use the three possibilities in order to write out point slope form and slope intercept form. Practicing problem. Problem number 1. Find the point slope form of the equation of the line satisfying the given conditions and use this form to write the slope intercept form of the equation. Slope is 2 over 3 and our line is passing through the point with coordinates 0, 4. We are looking for slope intercept form of the equation. We are looking for the form y equal mx plus b. Let's look what we have. First of all, for slope we can use several options. Option number 1, when slope is known. Option number 2, when we have 2 points and we have to calculate slope. And option number 3, when we have parallel or perpendicular lines. In our case, in this particular problem, slope is 2 over 3. So we can use first possibility because slope is 2 over 3. We can show m is 2 over 3. And second question about y-intercept. Let's look into our point. We have 0, 4. X coordinate is 0. If x coordinate is 0, it tells us that this is y-intercept. So we don't need to do anything extra. We already have y-intercept. So we can write out slope-intercept form immediately. We have to replace m for 2 over 3 and b for 4. And we have an equation. Slope-intercept form. Y is 2/3 of x and positive 4. Checking. Let's check. Does this equation satisfy our point or not? If we replace x by 0 and y by 4, is left side equal to right side? Simplify and you will see yes, 4 equals 4. Now we can show the answer. Y is 2/3 of x and positive 4. Here 2/3 is slope and positive 4 is y-intercept. Problem number 2. Find the point slope form of the equation of the line satisfying the given conditions and use this form to write the slope-intercept form of the equation. Slope is 5 and our line passing through the point with coordinates -6, -4. And we have to show our answer as y equal mx plus b. Let's make analysis. We are looking for slope. For slope, as you remember, we have three options. The first possibility is slope is known. Second possibility, if we have just 2 points and we have to calculate slope. And third possibility, if we have parallel or perpendicular lines. In our case, in this particular problem, slope is 5. Slope is known, so we have to use first possibility. Slope is 5. Now we need y-intercept. Let's look into our point. Our point with coordinates -6, -4. It's just regular point. It's not y-intercept. So now we have to focus on point slope form, because point slope form requires slope and coordinates of any point. For point slope form we don't need special points. And then we have to solve this equation for y in order to have slope-intercept form. Okay, writing and solving an equation. First, we have to replace y first by -4, slope by 5, and x first by -6. Now let's simplify, because -1 times -4 would be +4, and -1 times -6 would be +6. Now we have perfect point slope form. But our request in the problem for slope intercept form. So we have to solve this equation for y. How can we do this? First we have to remove parentheses using distributive property. 5 times x would be 5x, 5 times +6 would be just +30. Now we have to isolate y. So we have to move +4 from the left to the right. And we will have y equals 5x, +30 and -4. 30 and -4 like terms. We can simplify into +26. Now we have slope-intercept form, because 5 is slope and 26 is y-intercept. Checking. Let's check, does this equation satisfy our point with coordinates -6 and -4 or not? We have to replace y by -4 and x by -6 and check, is left side equal to right side or not. If you simplify, you will see yes. And step number 4, now we can show our answer. Y is +5x and +26, where 5 is slope, or 5/1 is slope, and +26 is y-intercept. Problem number 3. Find the point slope form of the equation of the line satisfying the given conditions and use this to write the slope-intercept form of the equation. Line is going through 2 points with coordinates 0, -4 and -3 and -7. And we have to show our final answer as y is mx plus b in slope-intercept form. Analysis. We have to find slope. Our 3 possibilities. Slope can be known, first possibility. Second possibility, if we have 2 points, we have to use formula. And third possibility, if we have parallel or perpendicular lines. In this particular situation, we have 2 points, so this is option number 2. We have to use formula to calculate slope first. After that, let's talk about y-intercept. Let's look into our points. And first point with coordinates 0, -4. Lucky for us, 0, -4 means we have y-intercept. So we can use y-intercept directly after calculation of slope. So our steps would be, first we have to calculate slope using formula, and then we can write out slope-intercept form. Let's write an equation. First, slope. We have to replace y second by negative 7, y first by negative 4, and denominator x second is negative 3, x first is 0. Let's simplify. Numerator negative 7 and positive 4 would be negative 3, and denominator is just negative 3. Now negative divided by negative is positive 1. We have slope. As a result of first step A, we have slope and we have y-intercept. So now we can write out slope-intercept form y equal 1x and negative 4, where 1 is slope and negative 4 is y-intercept. Checking. Let's use our equation and check, is our point with coordinates 0, negative 4 satisfy this equation or not? Is left side equal to right side? Yes, negative 4 equal negative 4. So now finally we can write the answer. Y is x, or we can say positive 1x and negative 4. Slope is 1 and y-intercept is negative 4. Problem number 4. Find the point-slope form of the equation of the line satisfying the given conditions and use this to write the slope-intercept form of the equation. Our line is passing through 2 points with coordinates 4, 6 and negative 4, negative 2. Our answer we're supposed to show in slope-intercept form, y equal mx plus b. Analysis. We are looking for slope. We have 3 possibilities, and the first possibility if slope is known, second possibility if we have 2 points, and third possibility if we have parallel or perpendicular line. In our case we have 2 points, so it tells us that we have to use second possibility in order to calculate slope, in order to find slope, because we have 2 points. Next question about y-intercept. Let's look into our points. We have regular points, we don't have special points. So this is why we have to calculate slope first, and then we have to use as a step B point-slope form, because point-slope form require any point from the graph. You don't need special point. And then we have to solve previous form for y in order to have slope-intercept form. Let's do it. First, slope. What we have? Y second is negative 2, y first is 6. X second is negative 4, x first is 4. And let's simplify. Numerator is negative 8, denominator is negative 8. Negative over negative gives us positive, 8 over 8 is 1. So slope is positive 1. Step B. Now we have to write point-slope form. And here we have to use slope and one of 2 points. It can be any point. I picked the second one, but frankly speaking, it would be better to use the first one. It would be easier. But I use the second one. So now y first is negative 2 and x first is negative 4. And let's simplify. Y and positive 2 equals 1 times x and positive 4. This is perfect point-slope form, but we have request for slope-intercept form, so we have to solve this equation for y. So step C, we have to solve this equation for y. We have to remove parentheses using distributive property. 1 times 1x is 1x, and 1 times positive 4 would be just 4. Now we have to isolate y. So we have to move positive 2 from the left to the right. is becoming negative 2, and we have to simplify positive 4 and negative 2. Result is y equals positive 1x and positive 2. Now checking. Here is our equation, and let's replace x by 4 and y by 6. We are using first point, and check, is right side equal to left side or not? Yes, it is. So that tells us that our equation is correct. And now we can show the answer. Y equals positive 1x and positive 2. Positive 1 is slope and positive 2 is y-intercept. Problem number 5. Find the point-slope form of the equation of the line satisfying the given conditions and use this to write the slope-intercept form of the equation. Our line is parallel to the line with equation y equals negative 4x and negative 1, and our line containing the point with coordinates 2, 6. And we have to show our answer in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Analysis. So first we have to find slope. And what we have in our problem, we have words. Our line parallel to the line with equation y equal negative 4x and negative 1. And we remember three possibilities. The first possibility for slope, if slope is known, not in our case. Second possibility, if we have 2 points, we don't have 2 points. And third possibility, if we have parallel lines or perpendicular lines. So in this case, we have situation with parallel lines. And what do we know? If lines are parallel, they have the same slope. Okay? If our line is parallel to the line y equals negative 4x and negative 1, so our line will have slope which is negative 4. Because parallel lines are supposed to have the same slope. Now let's talk about y-intercept. Let's look into our point. Our point with coordinates 2, 6. It's just regular point. We don't have y-intercept. So now our plan is, first, we have to show slope for our line. It's not a problem. It would be just negative 4. And then we have to write point slope form, because point slope form requires slope and any point from the graph. We don't need special point. And then we have to solve for y. Okay, now we're ready to write and solve an equation. First, a. Slope of our line would be negative 4, because our line is parallel to the line with equation y equals negative 4x and negative 1. Parallel lines, slope is the same. Now we're ready to write point slope form, replacing y first by 6, slope by negative 4, and x first by 2. Let's simplify. Drop in parentheses because our coordinates are positive. And now let's solve equation for y, because we are looking for slope-intercept form. Negative 4 times x and negative 4 times negative 2. Now we have y and negative 6 equals negative 4x and positive 8. We have to move negative 6 from the left to the right and simplify. But don't forget, when you are moving term, you have to change sign. So now y is negative 4x and positive 14. Checking. Let's use our equation and check. If we replace x y2 and y by 6, is our left side equal to right side or not? Is this a solution of this equation or not? Yes. So now we can show the answer. Equation is y equals negative 4x and positive 14. Negative 4 is slope and 14 is y-intercept. Problem number 6. Find the point-slope form of the equation of the line satisfying the given conditions and use this to write the slope-intercept form of equation. Our line is parallel to the line with equation positive 1x and negative 5y equals 3, and our line containing the point with coordinates 0, 0. We have to show our answer as y equals mx plus b in slope-intercept form. Analysis. First, slope. Let's look into our problem one more time. Our line is parallel to the line whose equation is positive 1x and negative 5y equals 3. Okay. Look into our options for slope. First option, first possibility, if slope is known. Not in our case. Second possibility, if we have 2 points. No, not in our case, we don't have 2 points. And third possibility, if we have parallel lines or perpendicular lines. In this case, we have parallel lines. And if we have 2 lines and they are parallel, they have the same slope. So we have to figure out somehow slope of our line from the equation x and negative 5y equals 3. Next question would be about y-intercept. Do we have y-intercept? Oh yes, lucky one. We have point with coordinates 0, 0. So this is our y-intercept. So y-intercept is 0. So now, in order to see slope of the line with equation x and negative 5 equal 3, we have to solve this equation for y, because we don't see right now slope. And then we can figure out slope, and then we can write out slope-intercept form. So how can we do this? Step A. In order to see slope, we have to solve for y. How can we do this? We have to isolate term with y. So x, positive 1x is moving from the left to the right, and it's becoming negative 1x. Now we are looking just for positive 1y. We have negative 5 times y. So we have to divide it by negative 5, each piece on both sides. And simplify. Negative 5 over negative 5 is just positive 1. Now we have positive 1y equals 1 over 5x and negative 3 over 5. And we need from this equation only and only slope. And slope is 1 over 5. So our line which we are looking for has the same slope, 1 over 5. We don't need this previous equation any longer. We are going to work out equation for the new line. So y equal 1 over 5x and plus 0, because y-intercept is 0 and slope is 1 over 5. Now let's check. Is it true or not? Is our point a solution of this equation? Is our point on this graph or not? You have to replace x by 0 and y by 0 and check. Is left side equal to right side? Yes, it is. So now we can show the answer. Equation of our line will be y equal 1 over 5x. We don't need to show y-intercept if it's 0. Next problem. Find the point-slope form of the equation of the line satisfying the given conditions and use this to write the slope-intercept form of the equation. Our line is supposed to be perpendicular to the line with equation y equals 4x and positive 2. And our line containing the points with coordinates 0, 0 means origin. We are looking for the answer in form slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. So the first question about slope. Analysis. Our line is supposed to be perpendicular to the line whose equation y equals 4x and positive 2. If you are looking for slope, as you remember, we have three options, three possibilities. And this time we have to use third possibility because we are talking about perpendicular lines. As you remember, slope and perpendicular lines tells us second slope always equal negative reciprocal of the first one. We are going to use this idea in order to find slope of our line. Now, next request for y-intercept. In this case, y-intercept is known because y-intercept is 0. So our problem will have two steps. A step, we are looking for slope, and then step B, we will have to write an equation. Writing and solving an equation. Step A. Slope of our line will be negative reciprocal of the line whose equation y equals 4x and positive 2. So our slope will be negative 1 over 4. And now we can write an equation of the line because we have slope and we have y-intercept, which is 0. Checking. In our equation, we can replace x and y by 0, 0 and check, is left side equal to right side? Yes, it is. So our equation is correct, and finally we can write the answer. Y equals negative 1 over 4x. We don't need to show y-intercept because y-intercept is 0. Problem number 7. Find the point-slope form of the equation of the line satisfying the given conditions and use this to write the slope-intercept form of the equation. Our line is perpendicular to the line whose equation is y equal 4x and positive 2, and our line containing the points with coordinates 3, 2. Our answer is supposed to be in slope-intercept form, y equal mx plus b. Analysis. First, slope. Our line is perpendicular to the line whose equation is y equal 4x and positive 2. Perpendicular. Okay. Let's look into our options for slope. First option, if slope is known, not in our case. Second option, if you have 2 points. No, we don't have, we have only 1. And third option, if you have lines which are parallel or perpendicular. In this case, our line is perpendicular to the line y is 4x and positive 2. And what do we know about the slope? Our line is supposed to have slope which would be negative reciprocal of the first slope. So second slope is negative reciprocal of the first one. Okay, this is what we are going to use in order to find slope. And then B, we have to find y-intercept. Let's look into our points. Our point with coordinate 3, 2, it's regular point. So nothing we can do here in order to find y-intercept directly. So what we're supposed to do first, we have to figure out slope of our line, which is perpendicular to the line with equation 4x and positive 2. And then we have to fill up form, point slope form, because we have regular point. We don't have special point. And then we have to solve our previous equation for y, because we have to show as the answer slope intercept form. Okay, let's do it step by step. If slope of the line y equal 4x and positive 2 is 4, so our line, which is perpendicular to this one, will have slope negative reciprocal. It will be negative 1 over 4. Now we have slope and we have point, so we can fill up the point slope form. Y first is 2, slope is negative 1 over 4, and x first is 3. We can simplify, drop in parentheses because coordinates were positive. And this is perfect point slope form. But we have request to solve for y because we need slope intercept form. So we have to use distributive property first in order to remove parentheses. It will be negative 1 over 4 times positive 1x would be negative 1 over 4 times x. And then negative 1 over 4 times negative 3, negative times negative give us positive 3 over 4. Next step, we have to isolate y. So we have to move negative 2 from the left to the right. And it will be positive 2. Now, positive 2 and 3 over 4, together it will be 2 and 3/4. Checking. Now we have our equation y equals negative 1 over 4x and positive 2 and 3/4. Let's check our point with coordinate 3, 2. Is this solution of this equation or not? Is this point on the line or not? We have to replace x by 3 and y by 2 and then check. Is left side equal to right side? Simplify and you will see 2 equals 2. Yes. So now you're ready to write the solution. Y equals negative 1 over 4x and positive 2 and 3/4. Negative 1 over 4 is slope and positive 2 and 3/4 is y-intercept.